So this is a crap guide to Final Fantasy XIV DPS. I know JoCat's videos, especially from his a crap guide to all sorts of D&D roles and things, and they've been kind of funny. And obviously, it's jokingly so. And I'm assuming it's in the same vein because the disclaimer is that it's actually a joke and not an in-depth guide. Any jabs I throw at anyone's way of playing the game are merely for comedic purposes only, especially when it comes to people's skill and performance and playing their role. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes or not playing 100% efficiently. Everybody does it. Nobody is perfect. Except for me. That last bit. Okay. Let's see that. Let's watch it together, shall we? Go away.
Everybody likes to do damage, and don't pretend like you don't, because I know you're lying. Otherwise, why would you be playing an RPG with core mechanics such as leveling up, getting stronger, and looking fashionable as fuck? It's to do massive numbers on the other guys until their numbers are so small they match the PP size of anybody who doesn't commend at the end of a duty. The other members leaving too quickly is no excuse. How do you expect to move quick enough to avoid AoEs if you can't even move quick enough to tell your allies they're doing a great job and that their glamour is sexy? Is that uncharacteristically nice of me? Maybe, but it means I get to steal the LB3 from the only melee in the group. Welcome to a crap guide to Final Fantasy.
Wow. There was a lot in there.
Today I'm going to be talking about every job. That's right. What, you thought only the DPS have to DPS? Boy, I could slap you with my overflowing glamour dresser. Damage is the name of the game in Final
glamour
Fantasy
dresser
XIV, and
full,
the entirety of the game is designed around everybody dealing it, including the tanks and the healers. If the DPS roles are contributing 60% of the damage, tanks and healers are the ones who fill in the other 40. So if you don't contribute, you belong in the garbage chute. So don't get so hung up on the role names. Everybody is a DPS. What I mean specifically is that one, not only is FF14 a cooperative game, which means anytime you waste is not only yours, but also anybody else in your party as well. And two, every combat feature in FF14 is designed with dealing damage in mind. Healers and tanks get skills that actively promote doing more DPS. Hell, Sage is a healer whose skills actively benefit from doing DPS. And most importantly of all, Enrage. Enrage is what happens when you overstay your welcome in a dungeon or boss arena and the residents have run out of things to talk about and are just really ready for you to leave so they can finally go poop without being worried that you're going to steal all their old DreamWorks DVDs. That is to say, you're either forcefully kicked out or alternatively, they instantly murder you. How do you prevent this from happening? You murder them first, of course, and then you pop in a copy of Shrek 2 so you can watch the castle siege again. And guess what? The later and later in the game you get, the more and more frequent enrages start to appear. And they'll...
Hold on. So that's Ifrit. Gets upset if you go too fast. Gets upset if you go too slow. Is this Alexander? He's a garbage can. Gets upset just generally all the time. Okay, so that's so mega. That's pretty funny.
Have more and more health too, so if somebody decides they just don't feel like they want to cooperate in this team game they decided to play, and now the boss has 1/8 of its health left and is about to destroy the entire universe, Princess Fiona isn't going to be the only one who will need a hero. Hopefully it's been drilled into your head now that DPSing is essential, not just for the jobs with the title sticker, but also anyone in a fancy robe or edgy trench coat as well. Now that you know that, how does one go about dealing max deeps? The first most basic thing is to do your combos. Press a button. See another button light up? Press that one. Congratulations, you have successfully completed a combo. And doing so will reap a myriad of benefits, from putting damage over time on your target, gaining mana, doing your taxes, or any variety of other additional effects. But mostly, it all achieves the same goal of dealing more damage. Secondly, you want to press these skills that the game labels as abilities and the community calls off-global cooldowns, or OGCDs for short. More like OGCDs nuts! I personally call them free damage buttons. They cost you nothing, and there's literally no reason not to press them while your normal cooldown is rolling. But this one has a long cooldown. What if I need it later?
Oh, that's actually me. That is kind of what you've been telling me as well. Remember, Super, that I should use my my abilities more freely, and that I'm kind of withholding them because exactly like this, you're saying, "What if I need it later?"
Doesn't shut up. The cooldowns in this game are so short you might as well press them, because by the time you need them again, whoop, they're back up. Not to mention many jobs
you and many WoW vets,
damage buttons to unlock even spankier damage buttons. So use your goddamn free damage buttons. It's free damage. The next rule of DPSing is know your ABCs. Always be casting. This means mashing away at your keyboard like a tickle monster working double time. More specifically,
Yeah, I spam my rotations, so I'm good with that, but
even if it means accidentally pressing the wrong skill like the single brain cell that you are. Because if you're always pressing buttons, even the suboptimal one, you are doing more damage than if you weren't. And doing damage is always better than not doing damage. Yes, even Skaith. Here's a live example with my two subjects, Jan and Chloe. They both deal 1 million damage and suddenly the boss flies out of melee range. Jan sits there waiting patiently for the boss to return before she can start doing 1 million damage again. Meanwhile, Chloe's pressing the deal 1 damage at a range button the entire time they're waiting. I ask you, puny viewer, which person is dealing more damage right now? Yeah, but it's only 1 damage. Who's dealing more damage? As if any fight is going to get so close that dealing... Who is dealing more damage? Sure, it might not look like much, but it's going to matter when they fight the boss that has 3 million and 2 health and they wipe all because the other DPS decided they don't want to press buttons.
Oh, that's rough.
DPS, it won't make a difference? Sure, Jan. Now, one of the best things you should do to improve your damage in Final Fantasy XIV is this. It's really simple. I want you to lean in. It's a super simple thing. Here, come close.
Okay,
I'm going to say the thing. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Read your tooltips! The little block of text that literally tells you what your skills do. Honestly, you would be surprised how many people queue into an expert dungeon and never realize they have a skill that can attack multiple targets. Even all the things I tell you in this video, the combos, the range attacks, the AoE damage skills, the free damage buttons. The best way to know what your job is capable of is by reading your job skill tooltips.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So you better read your goddamn tooltips, because if I see another player not knowing about their AoE combo and a mob pull at level 80, I'm gonna grab the nearest etherite and bash you so hard you're gonna be teleported to the final resting place of every ERPer's used undergarments. With all that out of the way, you
ERP's used undergarments. That's kind of gross.
Unfortunately, not waffle face, because the final responsibility every single role in Final Fantasy XIV
don't stand in AoE.
Dying. Oh sure, the healers help, but most of the time your own survival is on you and only you. And that means making sure you do the fight mechanics and don't take avoidable damage like it's got the cheese touch. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you in the middle of your cast? You want to try and hit that purple parse like the big man you are? That's too damn bad! Each time you take damage that is avoidable, it means the healer has to heal you and they're dealing less damage. And on top of that, you get this cheese puff called a vulnerability stack. For each stack you have, you take more and more damage until you get one shot when the enemy farts in your general direction. All this is...
What was that? Farts in your general direction. I almost choked there.
Say if you don't avoid enemy damage, you will not only make the healer do less DPS, but you're also likely going to die, which means 0 DPS. And if you still think that's
that DPS don't do damage, that's true.
Each time you die, you get a dunce cap of shame that reduces your DPS even more for about as long as a red light in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
so
that's rough.
Stay alive, or else I'm gonna raise you so I can rescue you into an AoE and kill you myself. To recap, everybody's DPS matters.
Wow, that's toxic. Rescuing somebody into an AoE after rezzing them.
If you keep all those things in mind, the #1 rule to improve your DPS performance is to practice. Striking dummies are all over the goddamn place, out in the overworld, and even in the yards of some random people's houses in the residential districts. So if you see one, there's no shame in whacking it a few times like you're auditioning to be a dominatrix. I'm sure the neighbors want.
I remember teleporting to the Opera FC house as well to use their striking dummy.
Go and do that doing so that one day you too can do the do and make everybody else look like doo-doo because of how good your doing skills are. And with how much doing you'll be doing, maybe someday you too can clear an ultimate and get a shiny-ass weapon of your own to show off to people AFKing at the Limsa Aetherite Plaza. Just know the difference between an amateur and a master is that a master has failed way more times. By the way, get ready for a party wipe. Wait, what? Congratulations, you're now better at the game than you were 5 seconds ago. Oh! And now you know how to DPS, you're welcome. Oh, finally my Q just popped. No, one of the other party members withdrew. Ah, fuck!
Wow. Okay, well... that was... I don't know what to say. There was a lot in there. That was actually a really good video. Let me actually like and sub to JoCat. I haven't even done that. But yeah, it's really funny, honestly. But also holds a lot of truth. Like, you know, obviously it's for jokes and comedian effect as well. But I think there's a lot of stuff in there that he should be doing, to be honest. Actually, pretty good video. Surprisingly. Like, you know, he has a lot of tips hidden away in that. That actually are really helpful for people, and I feel like more people should probably be reading their tooltips. And I've been at fault for that as well, to be honest. Yeah, good video, honestly. He has a lot more, right? He has one for tanking. I think I watched that before, but JoCat is actually really funny. He delivers it so quick, though. It's like... But yeah, that was nice. you enjoyed watching this video, make sure that you leave a like. And if you want to see more of my content, make sure you hit the sub button down below, because I would like to hit this bar below me by February, which is my 1 year anniversary coming up. I would really like you to help me meet that goal. Thank you.